Here's some Leslie 22H motors. These are from South J.K.'s Leslie. We're going to disassemble these and clean them. They're really filthy. And what we need to do first is to remove the pulleys from the top of each one. Now that we've got the pulleys off, I'll do a vacuuming of the entire Leslie motor, and then we'll take the motors apart and blow them out and then clean them and re-lubricate them. I made a little mark on the sides of the motors, on the sides where the mounting brackets go, just to make sure that they go back in the same way that they came out. So I made another little mark on each end piece and on the motor so that these end pieces go back on in the right order. I think when I've done this before, sometimes I had gotten them mixed up and had to take them apart and redo them. So that'll help make sure they go back on right. Now we've got all the components disassembled. The rotor, the armature, and the two end pieces with the bearings in them. I'm going to go out to the air compressor and we'll blow all this stuff out, and then we'll re-lubricate everything, and I'll put some heat shrink tubing on this cloth covered wire all the way into the core just to give it some better insulation. Now the motor has been cleaned out and we've put on a new power cord onto it. We just cut the old cloth covered wire shorter and insulated it with heat shrink tubing all the way into the core, and then spliced on the new cord and insulated the joint with heat shrink tubing. So now we're ready to put this one back together. One thing to note is that there's a little ring here that you've got to take off. This here, you've got to take that off before you can take the top part off of the motor. So now this one's ready to be reassembled, and I'll go ahead and do the same process with the other one. We've got all the new capacitors in the Leslie now. I cleaned up the amp chassis. I'll show the underside of the amp chassis after I finish testing it. I just was excited to go ahead and get it in there and test it, so I just got it all set up. But I was able to get it a lot cleaner than it was. Tubes could still use a little bit of cleaning. And I was still working on putting the other Leslie motor back together. I put the upper motor, got the upper motor installed here, and it seems like it's working pretty well. I'm going to vacuum off that mechanism some more. But I've got it all hooked up now. I've got the new capacitor and the Leslie adapter. Just still need to mount it on there. Got the electronics chassis all put back together. And I've got the Leslie plug, the Leslie socket on there. Insulated the terminals with heat shrink tubing to try and help prevent against shorts. So I was able to test the B-2. It's getting kind of late, so I don't think I'll put the pedal board with it now. But I was able to test it here. I'll actually try and play a song with it if I can set the camera down. That's just the upper Leslie motor. And so it's just fast and stop. See if I can do it with one finger here. Because ordinarily, or in all the other Leslies I've used, they've had the slow speed as well. You can see, let me turn on the motor and you can see it start to, you can see the horn action in there. That's stop. There's start. Now I'll see if I can play a tune on it, and I can demonstrate the Leslie performance. I'll have to see how this works. I probably will be able to hear it. Let me sit down and play a tune here. It seems to be working pretty good. Now I just need to get the lower Leslie motor put back together. I got it cleaned, but still need to put it in there. So looks like we're off to a good start on getting the B2 and Leslie project fully completed.